So validation rules, as the name suggests, they would validate the data within each single record based on the criteria that you would give in that validation rule. And if that criteria meets, then your validation rule would throw out an error. Yeah, you heard me right. So if the criteria is met, then your validation rule will fire and it will not let your record save. I repeat, if the criteria is met, your validation rule will not let you save the record. Let's see how it happens. So basically the criteria here works. In order for you to save the record, the criteria should evaluate to false. Only then your validation rule pass it through and will let the system save the record. And let's see how it works. Validation rules are object based. So for each object, you would have to go in the setup in the object manager into that object, and then under this menu you would find validation rules. So you go to validation rules, click on new here. As always, you would have to give it a name. So let's call it training validation rule 1, and by default it is active. You can deactivate it as well, but let's keep it active. Give the description. It's very important and very useful to give the description. Right, next step here is the criteria that you would create. So here it tells you error condition formula, and it is giving you an example as well. Discount %, so which is a custom field, is greater than 0.03, then display an error if the discount is more than 30%, right? So if the formula expression is true, display text defined in the error message area. So here it is telling you exactly the same thing which I explained to you. So if the formula you are giving here evaluates to true, then it would give out an error, otherwise it would let you save the record. So let's say there is a field on account, let's say website, because this is not a required field. So there are multiple functions which are available here. These functions are very important, which you would have seen in the video number 35, formula fields. So if you want to refresh, just go back to that video. I'll put up a link in the description. In this case, we would use a logical function and we'll check is blank. So is blank lets you check whether an expression is blank and returns true or false, right? So we'll select is blank here, and then the field which we thought of was website. So let's insert website here. So what it will do is, if the website field is blank, this particular formula will return a value true, and in that case we would get an error. So let's say let's give it an error: website cannot be blank. And then you have the option of putting the error message at the top of the page or at the field. If you select the field, then you'll have to select the field as well, right? Let's see in both the scenarios how it works. Let's save it, right? And this rule is active right now. So let's go on to the account and let's try and create a new account. Let's call it test account 1, right? And let's try and save it. It's telling you review the following fields. It says website. If you go to the website, it tells you the website field cannot be blank, right? This is one way. The other way would be, let's go back here, click edit, and if we say top of the page, then let's see how it comes up. See it, right? Let's try and save it again. So now it tells you here, review the errors, website field cannot be blank. So do whichever feels more useful to you. So if we do this and we click save, it should work. Okay? So it's saved. So validation rule works on new records and on existing records as well. So if I edit this existing record and remove website field from here and try and save it. Will not work, right? Validation rule also gets fired for your Apex code and everything else. So whenever you create a validation rule, please do inform your developers that you are creating a new validation rule, so that they make sure that none of their code or their test classes are failing. It's very important for them to know about it. Adding to this, something is failing, then you can deactivate the validation rule as well. Certain organizations or businesses, what they do is they create a custom setting, which we'll talk about later on, but I'm just giving you a hang of it right now. So custom settings, and which developers use in their code as well. And so what you do is you add that custom setting here, and if that you uncheck that custom setting, then all of the validation rules where that custom setting is used becomes inactive by default. So that's another way which a lot of businesses use, but if your organization is not using it, that's totally fine as well. But yeah, whenever you create a validation rule, please have a thorough check with your developers that none of their code is breaking. If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday, and please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.